Open three is good.
Shot towards the goal. Oh,
Nice.
tough. Shooting is scored.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Sports Jam on CCX Media. I'm John Jacobson.
I'm Jay Wilcox. This week we take a look back at some of the top Sports Jam spotlight stories from the winter sports season. We'll start with the story of Park Center boys basketball player Losini Kamara, who faced a long and not always easy path to reach his senior year in high school. Jason Malolo profiled Kamara back in December.
Losini Kamara is a thriving student and basketball player at Park Center High School, and considering the arduous journey of his young life, that's an incredible feat.
He's got a lot of poise, even if things, in his life aren't, perfect. He can still show poise. He can still show up, be a great student, still show up and be a great person.
Kamara was born in the West African country of Mali and came to Minnesota as a baby. Kamara eventually moved with his mother and sisters to Queens in New York City, while his father and the rest of his family stayed in Brooklyn Park. The neighborhood in Queens was rough, and Kamara struggled.
Me and my mom and my three sisters was there. We went through a lot. We lived in Queens for a little bit. We actually lived in a homeless shelter for a little bit. When I was in middle school in Queens, I was a little bit of a troublemaker.
But then Kamara met Donald Francois, an AAU coach who became a father figure and mentor. Francois even opened his home to Kamara when Kamara's mother moved to Arkansas.
It changed everything. I didn't even take basketball as serious at first until I met him, because he showed me what it could do for me and what it could do for my family with the free education.
Kamara found stability with Francois' guidance and attended Long Island Lutheran High School, a basketball power that has produced several Division I and professional players. But Kamara started to miss his family and friends in Minnesota. In the summer before his junior year, while visiting family in Brooklyn Park, he met James Ware, who was getting ready to start his first season as the head coach at Park Center.
I feel like I met another Francois, because the way he was talking to me was like, yo, I believe in you. I feel like you could be a great guard for us.
Kamara feels his game has improved significantly since returning to Minnesota.
Another steal by Kamara. Losini Kamara to the hole, lays it in.
From New York, it's like, oh, you have to score, you have to score. And it's like, oh, making the crowds like, ooh, ah, making the crowds going crazy. But this year, that whole year, just mentally, it turned me into a whole different player. It was less of the showboating and more of winning. This year I'm just focused on winning a lot of games. I want to go to states. I want to do a lot.
He usually makes the right basketball play. Now, what does that mean? He usually finds the open man when he's open. He's got great court vision. You never see him playing the games in terms of he's trying to score or the game's about him. He just kind of takes what the defense gives you and he plays for other people.
Kamara's evolution as a basketball player and student has earned him a scholarship to play hoops at the University of Idaho. Sometimes Kamara says he reflects on the crazy journey of his life, but as excited as Kamara is to play Division I basketball, this young man is keeping it all in perspective.
Basketball means a lot, but getting a free education means more than anything to me and my family. Because paying for that, I don't know how I don't even know how I was gonna pay for that at all. Basketball was a tool that I basically used to get what I really wanted. I want to major in business economics, and Idaho has that for me. And it's I just want to be really successful, not just for me, but for everybody around me, for Francois, my mom, my future kids, everybody. Just so he worked hard to get what he wanted, and I want everybody to basically lead as an example for my family.
Kamara and the Pirates lost to Osseo in the Section 5 4A semifinals. Losini was named to our Sports Jam All-Area basketball team last month.
He was one of Minnesota's best wrestlers this season. In this Sports Jam Spotlight from December, we meet Totino-Grace senior Jared Florell.
The Totino-Grace wrestling program has a great tradition. The Eagles' Jared Florell will go down as one of the best and will likely finish his 6-year career this winter, third in school history in wins.
It's been great. I just love it here, the support system we have from our coaches and the kids I've been wrestling with for the past 6 years. It's been great, and it's you can see strides every year, which is something I like, and our coaches know my strengths and they help me improve on my skills, so I like that a lot.
He's just a tremendous leader. He's just kind of, he's always doing the extra. He's always doing the extra outside the season. He works hard in the room. He brings the kids around. Just an excellent leader. He's not afraid of hard work, and nobody's going to work harder than him.
That hard work has paid off for Jared in the form of over 150 career wins. It's not always easy in practice either. On this day, his practice partner is collegiate wrestler and former Grace High School All-American Lance Bennick. Bennick and Jared's brother Isaac, 2 grades older than Jared, helped mold him into an elite wrestler.
Him and Lance, we've all been wrestling with each other since I was about 5. So since I started wrestling, I've been around those guys, and guys like that really help push me and make me a better wrestler and a lot tougher, that's for sure, because there are times in the room where we be competing pretty hard with each other, and that just makes me a better competitor.
Like Bennick, Isaac Florell is also a college wrestler and a good influence on his younger brother, although not necessarily a good training partner.
We weren't allowed to be practice partners actually in the room very often because it turned more physical sometimes and just take away from our wrestling. So a lot of times I'd be going with Lance and he'd be going with like Kez Flomo. But just being in the same room, like pushing each other during workouts and like conditioning, just helped us both become better wrestlers for sure.
Jared and Isaac were part of a great Grace team 2 seasons ago. The brothers each finished as runners-up in their weight classes, while Bennick won his 4th individual state title. Jared finished 4th last season at 170 pounds. On the football field, Jared was a starting linebacker for the state Class 6A champion Eagles. A special year for Totino-Grace football and a great group of seniors.
We were playing together for a long time. A lot of us had significant playing time as sophomores, so we had the chemistry built up, and we were just ready to take it all the way this season. We were really close this year. I felt like that was a big part of our success. By far the closest team I've been on in any sport, and we just had a lot of fun, and we loved doing it. I loved every step of it.
Great football player. Jared did a nice job for us in so many ways. Yeah, and I would say that Jared was definitely one of the leaders, kind of the spiritual leaders of our team. He's just got some real unique gifts in terms of being able to connect with guys.
Football season went until Thanksgiving weekend, and then it was right into wrestling. A tougher transition than you might think.
Football's got a different type of conditioning. It's just a few hard goes, and you get a break. 10 seconds of hard work, and then you get a break. But wrestling, you got to work a lot on your endurance and stay going for that full 6 minutes or even more. So it's a bit of a transition, but I like doing both of them. So
Jared's success on the wrestling mat earned him a scholarship offer to Purdue University.
I was looking at a few different schools, and I got the chance to go out there and meet with Coach Ersland and his staff, and I just felt like it was a good fit for me right away. It's a great school, a beautiful campus, and their team is going in the right directions, and I just felt really comfortable there, and it felt like it's somewhere I'd want to spend the next 5 years.
Jared possesses tremendous strength, and his determination and always improving technique has made him a tough opponent to beat.
He's strong. He's an aggressive wrestler. He's strong. He's physical. Technique. He's good at leg attacks and on and upper body as well because he's done Greco and freestyle. I don't know if there's not a weak spot in his wrestling. He can kind of wrestle any style he needs to.
While Jared says he will miss playing football, he's excited to continue his wrestling career in college. But first, he's taking aim at a state individual title.
Most definitely. I think it's overdue.
Jared did win the 182-pound title at the state Class 2A tournament, defeating Bobby Strigo of Orono in the final. Time for our first break.
There's more to come in our show, including later in the program, the story of one of this area's top prep athletes over the past 3 years, Brad Davison. A Wayzata wrestler wrapped up a strong career with a return trip to the state tournament. Here's his story.
He's gotten better and better and put more time in training. Now as a senior, Wayzata's 170-pounder Dan Herda is dominating on the mat.
For me, it's been an incredible season so far. I had some success at some tournaments, most notably the Rumble on the Red. That was a really big deal for me. It's a big tournament. It's one of my big goals to win that tournament.
Winning that tournament, I believe, pushed him to be recognized in our state as a contender. I think he went from being, you know, a tough Wayzata kid to people knowing his name, people following, so the state understands, you know, this is one of the top guys.
That tournament win and a 26-3 start have helped propel Herta to number 4 in the state rankings at his weight. He doesn't try to pretend it's not important to him.
It's really exciting. It's kind of been like I've been looking at the Minnesota high school rankings since I started like 4th, 5th grade, watching the state tournament, going to the XL Energy Center, and it's to be one of the people that are ranked top in the state. It's incredible for me. Yeah.
Dan says he doesn't have one particular style or signature move, but has worked hard on his offense.
A little bit varying throughout the seasons, but this year I've been focusing mostly on takedowns from the neutral position, and I'm trying to go for a school takedown record right now, and yeah, mostly going for takedowns, but overall just trying to be active, trying to score lots of points.
He has some things that maybe come natural to him. He's got really good hips. People can't ride him, so you know, if he chooses down, he's getting out, probably get a reversal too. That's what really helped him in the state tournament last year as well. And then this year, what really started to separate him from everybody else was his offense. He has some offense that college coaches want.
He has a little swagger on the mat. It's a confidence that Dan hopes carries over a bit to the younger guys in the lineup.
I think that guys at Wayzata, we're kind of maybe a little too humble. We don't really like to make a big deal out of ourselves. But I think that having a little swagger on the mat can be a good thing. Yeah.
Herta was in the state tournament for the first time last season and fell one match short of placing. It's an eye-opener to be in the big show at the XL Center.
It can get you psyched out a little bit before the match, just, you know, like seeing all the people there and the big stadium. Once you're on the mat, though, it's just like any other match. It's just you and the other guy wrestling. It's not, you don't really notice the whole all the people in the stadium.
As a team, Wayzata reached the Section 5 3A final last season, only to be crushed by Power St. Michael Albertville. Beating the Knights would be a tall order for Wayzata, Maple Grove, or any other teams in their section. But for Dan Herda and a couple of his teammates to qualify for state as individuals would still be a big thing for Trojans wrestling.
It's really great for the program, just for like recognition of the program, to have multiple guys in the state tournament. It helps with the popularity with the sport within our school, and it helps give the coaches some recognition for their hard work to have guys that are in the state tournament and placing, hopefully.
Herta did reach state and won his first match in the 160-pound class, but lost in the quarterfinals. We'll meet two gymnastics teammates from Park Center when Sports Jam returns. Park Center's gymnastics team had two athletes reach the state meet. We caught up with Maddy, Clausen, and Hailey Illi right before sections.
They've provided a dynamic 1-2 punch that's helped to bring Park Center gymnastics to new heights. Senior Maddy Clausen, junior Hailey Illi are a special pair.
I don't know how many schools have got a 1-2 punch like we've got with them. I mean, there's the people that got the really good all-arounder, the really good this or the really good that, but we got two.
We're both pretty competitive, but at the end of the day, we both love each other a lot, and we're really good friends, so it's great to have someone like her supporting me, and it's great to support someone like her, so. It's great. You know, each competition is kind of like our own little competition with, like, both of us, just to see, like, who can push each other more, and we're teammates, we're kind of rivals, but we're also, like, best friends, and so it's really nice.
In addition to this season, Clausen made it to state on bars and as an all-arounder as a junior. Illi qualified for state on beam twice and placed third on the vault as a sophomore last season. That state experience helps.
It's a lot different. It's a lot bigger just because we're at the U of M, and there's 4 judges on each event instead of like 2. And there's so many more people just on each event, and there's so many more rotations. It takes a long time.
Park Center's philosophy is a take-all-comers team with a wide variety of skill levels in their gym. It's a mix that works, especially with talented gymnasts like Maddy and Hailey to lean on.
there's definitely been a lot more work with a lot of the younger girls this year. I mean, sometimes it can be like that, but this year especially, we've had a lot of girls working with some of the other coaches and learning new skills. There's been a lot of new skills with a lot of the young girls this year, and it's been pretty cool to watch.
I think it's a good thing just because like us older girls who have more experience, we help the younger girls a lot of the times. When like the coaches are occupied with other people or they need help, they'll come ask us because we'll know how to answer their questions and stuff just as well as the coaches will.
Just in their work ethic and the way they attack things, it's really good for the other kids to see it. Well, I guess it isn't so bad to be afraid, kind of thing. But they work hard.
While Illi has one more year at Park Center, the state meet will be Maddy Clausen's final competition as a Pirates gymnast. She'll surely miss it.
Definitely. I think just gymnastics in general especially. It's something I've been doing my whole life, and just for it to kind of be done, it's weird. It's definitely weird, but I also have grown really close with this team, and it's going to definitely be hard to leave all of them, but they'll do great.
She competes, she gives you everything, she's got every doggone thing, she's intense, and she's very well prepared. We're going to miss her huge. We really are. You just don't get somebody like that. I mean, 36, 37 points all the time. That's nines, no matter how you cut it, I haven't had that in a long time.
Both girls did compete in the state meet, with Illi placing 5th on the vault. We're back with more in just a moment.
Hopkins girls basketball teams have claimed 6 state titles since 2004 and just missed out on a 7th this winter. Annie Isler played on that first state championship team and was the subject of this Sports Jam Spotlight profile. Here's Jason Malillo with more.
Annie Isler is giving back to the school and basketball program that helped her become the person she is today.
When they say it takes a village, I really was raised by a village, and our coaching staff, I mean, Kaz, that's how I know that he walks the walk, is he helped raise me, and that is a tribute to what I've been able to accomplish as a professional, as a person.
Annie is very intense, but she's very knowledgeable. She brings a lot of wisdom to our team. I think her energy is what really helps us a lot, and staying on us on the little things. For me, is communicating.
Isler started at Hopkins High School as a junior in 2002. She lived in North Minneapolis and came to Hopkins as part of the new Choice is Yours program for inner city kids. Her days started early, and for a young teenager, the journey from home to school was arduous.
Very proud of her. I mean, she hasn't had it easy. And I always tell the kids the story, breakfast club at 7 in the morning, and she would take 3 buses to get here.
It was like an adventure, it was like, how many transfers do you need, or how many ways are you going to learn how to keep your head down? But luckily one of our coaches lived in the St. Anthony area, so I got a safe ride home every night, and the parents and teammates and just plethora of people that did everything they could to make sure that I was safe every night. So
by her senior year, Isler had embraced the Hopkins system and improved greatly as a player. Alongside superstar Leslie Knight, Isler helped lead the Royals to their first state title, starting a run that's produced 5 state championships since.
When it's all said and done, you remember a couple of the games, a couple of the practices, but it's really about the people, and to this day, still talking to teammates from our high school team. And the people before us that didn't win a state title that helped us.
She started this all, and now for her to get to be a part of it again, and seeing how she impacted the program way back then and how it's come full circle, like you said, is awesome.
Isler played 4 seasons at Carleton College and then coached on the collegiate level before coming back to Hopkins. Head coach Brian Cosgriff says he has a father-daughter kind of relationship with Isler, and that can lead to some interesting exchanges on the bench and at practice.
Yeah, I think it's been good for me this year because, my assistant's been with me a long time. And so it's good to get some new, fresh blood. She's like my daughter, and we're going to butt heads probably every day, but that's okay. It's not personal. It's about trying to make this program better.
When you have that creative tension, you have the ability to challenge somebody, they make you better. If we were all yes coaches and this was a yes program, you'd never have the best ideas. but it's all love. I mean, as much as we challenge each other in a way that creates what's best for these kids, you know, we've made each other better.
Over the next 2 weeks, Isler will try to help guide the Royals to another state title, and in the process, hopefully help these current players form those same lifelong connections. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Hopkins lost a heartbreaker to Elk River in the Class 4A title game in a battle of unbeaten teams. Annie also works for the Minnesota Lynx, and she's now the team's video coordinator and a player development associate.
One of the area's best multi-sport athletes in recent years wrapped up a great career at the state boys basketball tournament. Here's our spotlight story on Brad Davison of Maple Grove. He's one of the best athletes in the northwest suburbs in the past decade. Maple Grove point guard Brad Davison is relishing this senior season of basketball, his 4th varsity campaign.
So much fun, just the camaraderie with my teammates and the coaching staff. We have a lot of fun in practice and in the locker room, but just the competition with those good teams is huge for us early in the season before we get going in the playoffs and get going with conference play, just to really see where we're at and get some confidence going.
For all of his physical talent as a shooter and playmaker, Brad's other skills are off the charts.
He's intense. He's a great leader. He knows the game of basketball inside and out, and we trust him with that. We trust him to run the offense. We know he's going to make good decisions, and most importantly, he's a good friend off the court as well.
Brad's obviously a great all-around player and person off the court as well. Just his work ethic is really something that, you know, a lot of people should look at. He's in here before and after practice, and, you know, not many guys put in the work like that, and just the way he leads by example, and obviously he's really vocal on and off the court.
Amazing leader, on and off the floor, in the classroom, in the hallways at school, on the floor, communicator, floor general, scorer, assist passer, rebounder, he does everything.
Davison's very popular with Crimson fans, but maybe not so much at places like Osseo, Park Center, and Champlin Park.
That's the best part about high school sports, and that's something I'm really looking forward to in college, just because there is so much competition. And, you know, it's not negative, it's positive. I take it as a sign of respect. They know who you are, they know what you've done, they know what you're about, and that's just their way of showing you respect.
Brad's not the first Davison to star for Maple Grove. Older sisters Stephanie and Angie were great players for the Crimson, who both went on to play D1 ball at Northern Iowa. Brad learned from his big sisters.
A lot, immense amount. Just being in the gym with them when I was 3, 4 years old. 'Cause my sisters were always coached by my parents growing up. So I was always on the bench in practices, at the tournaments. I was the halftime show. And just, I think the biggest thing they taught me was work ethic. You know, they put in so much time into their games to get to become how successful they've been. And I owe a lot to them, not just for basketball, but just being positive role models for me, not only on the court, but just in life.
He's a great basketball player, but there are plenty of football coaches that say Davison is just as good or better in that sport. As a third-year starter at quarterback this fall, he passed for over 2,100 yards and 21 touchdowns and rushed for nearly 900 yards and 14 TDs, while leading the Crimson to the state playoffs. Brad was named Star Tribune Metro Player of the Year. A lot of college football coaches wanted Davison to play for them, but he'd already decided basketball was his ticket.
The problem was I think I made my decision to play basketball when I was about a sophomore, for sure. But it's so hard. Just because I really only took football seriously when I started as a sophomore. That's when I really thought that I got a chance to do something special here at Maple Grove. So I've put a lot more time into basketball, so it meant a lot more to me as I was growing up. But when it came down to it, it was a really hard decision because I love football.
A great student, a great leader and athlete. Well, there must be something Brad Davison doesn't do well, right?
I'd have to say baseball. You know, I've seen him play baseball a few times. I think I could strike him out.
Oh, he's terrible at pig. I don't think he's ever beaten me in pig. We play, you know, on Saturdays we play some pig games after practice. He'll tell you that he's beaten me, but he's lying.
I'll give him a lot. Like, he's a decent shooter, but he's never beat me in pig, and he knows it. So if we're off camera, he'd let you know that he's never beat me in pig. A lot of things I wish I was better at. One thing I've never learned how to skate. My dad never let me learn how to skate. And I think if I could become better at one thing, I'd probably say singing. I think that would be so much fun, just to be a super good singer and be able to perform in front of people on a stage.
Davison was named first team All-Metro and All-State as the Crimson placed 4th at state. And that will do it for this week's show.
And hope you've enjoyed our look back. Weather permitting, we'll have our first spring show the week of April 17th. We'll see you then.